Allison Springer. I am a 3-day eventer. I love my Amerigo saddles. They put me in the perfect position.
My name is Seema Sonad. I started eventing a long time ago when I was in high school. I was lucky enough to grow up riding with Margaret Spencer in Michigan, who was actually one of the original members of the back then USCTA. And so I evented for 2 or 3 years when I was in high school, and then I went off to college and grad school and startup companies and this and that. And while I mostly kept in touch with riding, I wasn't able to event. When I had been a teenager, Margaret actually gave me horses and actually bought my show clothes and did everything for me, which was phenomenal, or I wouldn't have been able to ride. So when I got my first real job on the faculty at the University of Michigan, the first thing that I did was called the first barn in the Yellow Pages, which actually turned out to be a hunter barn, but I said, I really want to event. Is there anyone here who does that? And it turned out that Kathy Henderson had grown up doing the hunters and the Metal McClays, but she too, like so many of us, was completely bitten by the eventing bug and switched. So in Michigan, I started riding with Kathy. I leased a couple horses from her. She was very generous with those horses, and then I actually bought an off-the-track thoroughbred, sort of by accident. I was actually helping a junior shop for a horse and fell in love with this sort of rangy, raggedy, young thoroughbred. That was my first horse, actually, when I was 34 years old, and his name was Tempo, and he actually ended up going on and doing some advanced with Shameen Evans, his later owner. But I also was a very busy junior faculty member at the University of Michigan, so I partially leased Tempo out to a teenager in the barn, and a few years later, that teenager got the opportunity to go be a working student, and I had sold Tempo at that point to Shameen Evans' family and bought myself another off-the-track thoroughbred, but there was money left over, and so I told Lena I'd buy her a horse, and so that was actually my first owner experience, and it was really cool. Here's Elena in Virginia now, sort of in the center of eventing land when I'm still in Michigan and doing all this cool stuff, and it's on my horse. So that was a great experience. And I did quite a bit of eventing, and I started doing a bit of volunteering then, but I didn't do a lot of volunteering until after being in Michigan for some time. I got another job and a promotion to associate professor and went to Pennsylvania and really started doing quite a bit of volunteering. And the cool thing about volunteering is that you get to be such an insider. You really know what's happening. You really learn the sport in a way that you don't get to see as a rider, what it takes to make it happen, what's going on. Susie Beal had me help out on the organizing committee of what we call now Small Radnor, the Pony Club Radnor. And I was the head scorer because she was like, you're a statistician, I'm sure you can keep scores. And so I did some of that. And so I was able to continue doing that, and I did a bunch of volunteering. And then when I'd done so much volunteering, I started thinking, well, what's the next step? And so I actually got a TD's license. I'm a small R, which means I can TD up through the preliminary level, USCF TD. And so I still ride. I've got another off-the-track thoroughbred now. And in the past couple of years, I've gotten into ownership in a bit of a different way. So over the years, I've done horses with working students, but now I had the opportunity with Caitlin Silliman, whom I've actually known since she was 12. When I moved to Pennsylvania, she was a kid and riding in the same barn that I was, and actually coached her at an event once on an off-the-track thoroughbred that she was riding. But she came to me when Boyd and the Javonans were kind enough to arrange for her to have the ride on Remington, and was just really excited about this opportunity and was really asking me for ideas about how she could get Remy sponsored. And I happened to have got a new job, yet another new job, and my signing bonus was just enough to pay Remy's expenses for the year, and I just thought that would be like the coolest thing ever to help Caitlin achieve those dreams. And so now I sponsor Remy. I ride with Sally Cousins in the winters in Aiken. I'm a syndicate owner in one of her horses, Ideal Contini, at a very small level, but it's very cool. I love getting emails from Sally and being able to hang out. The nice thing about being involved in sponsorship and ownership for people like Sally and Caitlin is that I also get to groom for them. And so I was Caitlin's groom at Richland when she had both of her horses there in the 3-star this summer. And I've done some grooming and, sort of being part of the team for Sally and Aiken when she's magically riding 8 horses at a one-day event. And so it's great. And eventing, it doesn't really matter if you're the volunteer in the warm-up or the owner watching your horse go out or the rider on your own horse. That whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go have fun is what makes eventing and is why everyone's gonna, I think anyone who ever events is always just gonna come back to eventing for that.